What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. It's the eve of the Stanley Cup Final, 2014 Stanley Cup Final. Thinking about my pick going into the season. I had the Kings in the final, and I had the Boston Bruins, and that's been my dream final for a long time. And I go back to being at a game, Bruins Kings game, in November 2010, the year the Bruins went on to win the Stanley Cup. Obviously, that was beginning of that season, but I said to my buddies that this would be a great finals matchup. The Lakers just played the Celtics the year before, and then obviously 2 years before that. It's like, the Boston LA rivalry, it's just awesome stuff. And then, it just hasn't happened. The one of them's been in the finals every year since then, but just never against each other. You look at 2011, the Bruins go to the finals and win the Stanley Cup. The Kings got knocked out in the first round. Kopitar didn't play, he was hurt that year, 2011, but next year, the Bruins have a great team. They're the reigning champions, KO'd by the Washington Capitals in the first round. Kings go on to the final, win the Stanley Cup. 2013, Bruins go to the final. Kings lose in the Western Conference Finals, and we had Boston, Chicago instead of Boston, Los Angeles, and then this year, the Bruins I thought had the best team in hockey. Record-wise, they did have the best team in hockey, and then the old nemesis of Montreal KO'd them, and then the Kings are in the final, and I think they'll win the Stanley Cup. And I'm trying to think. Honestly, if the Bruins had made the final, I would be picking Los Angeles. I'm picking this Kings team. I'm all in with this team. They've shown they can rally through every adverse situation. There was a quote by Dustin Brown today during media day. In 2012, we won the Stanley Cup playing the least games. We set a record. This year we're gonna, we have a chance to win it, set a record for the most games played. Which, I mean, it's about how they ask, how many games do you win, not how many games do you play. That's the bottom line. It's 16 games, no matter what. You gotta win 16, whether it takes you 28 or 20. You gotta win 16 games. So, again, I'm excited, but gotta keep picking that final till it happens. It has to happen. Boston, LA, Bergeron versus Kopitar, Tuukka versus Quick, Dougie versus Drew Doughty. He's not in the same stratosphere as Doughty, but I don't think any defenseman on the planet's in the same stratosphere as Drew Doughty in these playoffs. But, it's something cool to think about. And, I'm not going to accept that it'll never happen. It's going to happen at some point, whether it's 50 years. It'll happen in my lifetime. Boston, LA, Stanley Cup Final, but you just think about the amount of great Bostonians that have followed Manifest Destiny and went west. The great Bill Simmons, the amazing Ben Affleck, and obviously Matt Damon, Marky Mark, Steven Tyler's out there now full time. You think about that movement and just be pretty cool finals. But again, keep your fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens next season. But right now, it's all about the Kings and Rangers. New York and LA, which is actually might have my Stanley Cup Final pick last year. I'll look back on my preseason predictions for the lockout shortened 2013 season. But I liked both those teams going into last season. And, the Rangers went out in the second round. Kings went out in the conference finals. So, is what it is. Anyway, that's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes toward the final and beyond. Later, guys.